Hey guys, welcome back to The Musical. My name is Cole, and today we're going back to the early 90s, to 1992, to talk about the final album of legendary indie popsters, Beat Happening. And this is their album, You Turn Me On. And I've always liked this group. They've got this really pleasant female vocalist, and then the iconic, deep, monotone singing of Calvin Johnson to go along with it. It's just a really cool sound. It's very distinct. And this album has several really great moments on it. So I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys, and I hope you like it. So let's kick off with track one, which is one of my favorite indie pop songs of all time. It's just recorded so incredibly well. I love it. It's called Tiger Trap. Yeah, my goodness, just such a lovely sound. I mean, it's kind of hypnotic too. You just get stuck in this trance for, like the 7 minutes it lasts. And it's also a pretty romantic song, because you've got this damaged woman who's closing herself off to the world. And so she's kind of like purposefully trying to not be attractive. And yet at the same time, there are people like our main character who are willing to put up with an uphill battle to get to know this woman, to get her to open up, to get her to enjoy life once again, right? So no matter how damaged you are, there's always somebody out there willing to love you and help you get through the painful reality of life, right? So I kind of like that message, assuming that's what they're talking about, I always think of that when I listen to this song. The fact that no matter how down and out you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how unattractive you might feel, there's always somebody there's always somebody out there who's got a crush on you, who's willing to, help you get through all the tough times. So I love it. But that's all I want to say about this song. Again, Calvin Johnson's voice is just so distinct and memorable, that really bass heavy, deep, monotone style that's, Beat Happening signature. I love it. But anyway, so that's Tiger Trap. So let's move on to another favorite of mine, which is track 2. It's called Noise.
What do you want me to do now? You say you can see through me. I sit alone looking down. You sit alone on your phone. Tell me back, you want me to stroll up your legs. You want me to hold in your arms and hear all the sound. Our hearts beat now, but it's only noise.
Yeah, so this poor woman, right? We're now in her mind, and she's trying to figure out what the deal is with this guy who, for some reason, is, really attracted to her and trying to help her out through these tough times, right? He's trying to pull the sword out of her bone, is what she says. And then she says, our love calls us through the door, but it's only noise. So, like, she probably has never really experienced any actual true love before. So, like, as far as she's concerned, this guy can't possibly understand her situation and her mind state. So, like, as far as she's concerned, he's sitting on this throne, as she says, looking down at her in the sense of, like, maybe she thinks he's naive, right? Maybe she thinks that this guy could never possibly understand just how damaged she is, and because he can't understand it, he is incapable of getting through to her, right? So the love that they have for each other is only noise. She can't really make it out clearly. So it kind of sounds like she's doubting this guy's true intentions, right? It sounds like she doesn't really believe that he's going to truly be there through thick and thin and really, really, like, put up with all of her struggles to help make her feel better. So we're at this beginning stage of their relationship where she doesn't really trust this guy yet. Again, as I mentioned, she thinks of him as this person who doesn't really truly understand just how down and out she is. And so he's approaching it with a kind of naive worldview. But anyway, so that's Noise, another lovely song, featuring our female vocalist who has a really wonderful voice. But anyway, so let's move on to track 3, which is called Pinebox Derby. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. It sounds like, he refers to her as a witch that he's trying to, like, help out and convert. So it's kind of an interesting song because maybe this guy kind of gets a kick out of helping the less fortunate, right? The people who've lived sad lives. So it sounds like he kind of has a fetish for women who don't have it all together, so to speak. He likes the excitement that this provides him, right? So he's kind of explaining that on this song a little bit. So, I hope he actually does love this girl and it's not just kind of a thrill for him, but we're not quite sure yet, is what it sounds like. So yeah, this is Pinebox Derby. It's kind of like we're kind of trying to figure out what the deal is with this guy. Does he actually love her? Or is this kind of like, just a thrill ride for him? So anyway, let's move on to track 4, which is called Teenage Caveman. Yeah, so I like this song a lot. It makes me think of the reality of most successful musicians, in the sense that, like, they're all kind of putting on a show. They're putting on a front for their fans who, to some extent idolize them. I mean, as he says in the song, we're the cream of the crop. So maybe he's talking about Beat Happening specifically. But the deal is, we've got this guy who is trying to get through to this girl who's really messed up. So their personal lives are not so great, but the front that they put onto the world and to their fan base is that they're successful, right? And if you're successful, then how can you possibly have all these problems? I mean, one of the false assumptions that we all make about anyone who's successful, either like in terms of how much money they make or any number of things, is that, well, they must have all the answers, right? How can they be successful but not be happy? Aren't those two the same thing? But as we learn from the song, he says we cry alone. So what that means to me is they can't really show their true emotions to the world because they want to put on the front that they've got it all together. So he and his girlfriend cry alone together. They're dealing with all this true pain, because as we mentioned, he's trying to get through to this girl who's had a hard life. So like in private, they're struggling, but in public, they're the cream of the crop. So it's kind of like an interesting examination of just the reality of most celebrities, right? You can't just assume they're all doing well mentally just because they've made a lot of money. So that's what I think of when I hear this song. So let's move on to track number 5, which is called Sleepyhead. Yeah, so this is a key moment in their relationship because it sounds like our guy has been trying to get through to this girl for so long, but she's just totally depressed. She's a sleepyhead in the sense that, as he says on these lyrics, it takes like tremendous energy for her to even get up in the morning and just do all these simple things. So it sounds like he's getting really, really frustrated with the situation. So maybe like he was into it at first because he likes fixing a broken person, but now he's in the trenches, so to speak, of the psychological war that he's waging with her mind, and he's kind of like at a point where he's a little bit over it, is what it sounds like. He doesn't sound too happy about it, so I guess the thrill is probably no longer there for this guy. So, understandably, when you're dealing with someone who's just totally down and out depressed, like you got to have a lot of mental energy to deal with them. But anyway, so that's Sleepyhead. Let's move on to track number 6, which is called You Turn Me On, the name of the album. Let's check it out.
the barn burning slowly. Set the fire, set the timber, burn it down to ash and cinder. Turn me undead man, 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 turn me undead man.
Yeah, so this guy is kind of a weird dude because it sounds like, I mean, the song is kind of poetic in the sense that he's basically having these fights with his girlfriend. He's burning down the relationship, so to speak, you know, metaphorically speaking. He's just having all these arguments with her. And it even sounds like it's turning him on because he says, you know, turn me on, dead man. And the name of the song is You Turn Me On. So the way that I interpret that is like this guy loves hate intimacy, if that makes any sense. You know that feeling you get when you're fighting with somebody in a relationship and then you kiss and make up and then, you know, the makeup sex is amazing. So it sounds like that's what this guy is doing. He's like, you know, he's really annoyed at this woman for being so depressed, for being such a sleepyhead, for having no positive energy. And so he's fighting with her. And all of this hatred boils up into makeup sex, which turns him on. So this guy's kind of messed up, is what it sounds like. If I'm interpreting this correctly. Again, this is just what I think about it. I could be wrong. Feel free to let me know your own thoughts on what this song is about. But that's how I've always thought about track 6. So let's move on to track number 7, which is called Godsend.
It's just the things you do, you make it true. It's just the things you do, you make it true. You wanna run and play, you make a sunny day. You wanna run and play, you make a sunny day. You wanna have a look, you open every book. You wanna have a look, you open every book. It's just the things you do, you make it true.
Yeah, so we finally really get into the mind of this woman who thinks of her boyfriend as a godsend, right? I mean, she's talking about all of the wonderful things he's trying to do for her. You know, she says that he makes a sunny day, he opens every book. So like this guy has been trying really, really hard for a long time to break through to this woman, to make her feel better, to give her some positive energy. You know, he's a godsend to her. It's the name of the song. But for whatever reason, she's just so damaged that she's not able to express this. And so they just keep having all of these fights and arguments, which of course, as we mentioned, turns this guy on. So they have this really strange, messed up relationship, to be honest. You know, it's kind of a weird relationship. But I guess these kinds of relationships do happen, you know. The world is a rainbow of colors and emotions, as they say. But anyway, so that's Godsend. It's like a 10-minute epic featuring the lovely female vocalist. But anyway, so let's move on to track number 8, which is called Heyday.
I'll wait for you
Yeah, Heyday has always confused me, lyrically speaking. I mean, it's a lovely song, sonically speaking, but all I can really think of is that we're going back in time to possibly the beginning of the relationship where this guy, as he says, he'll wait for her. He likes her charm. He likes her hope. So he's attracted to, again, someone who's kind of damaged. And, you know, he's willing to put up with a lot of BS up to a certain point. So it kind of sounds like, you know, we're simply going back in time on this song, back to the heyday of their relationship. You know, the name of the song is Heyday. So I imagine that's what he's talking about. So it's a little bit of a confusing song, I'll be honest, but I do think of that. But again, it's a really, really good song, sonically speaking. It's very memorable. But that's all I really want to say about it. So let's move on to the final track of the album, which is called Bury the Hammer.
Kiss and forget is how it began. Peaches and photos, love letters in the sand. Empty buildings in an empty town. Knock a hollow life and make a hollow sound. A promise of a holiday, and you can't travel. Scratch and claw and knocked out of the saddle.
Forgive and forget. It's time to make amends.
Bury the hammer, 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 bury the
Yeah, this relationship is just totally screwed. It's messed up. And I think I finally figured out what the deal is with this guy. I imagine that this person likes to feel kind of powerful. He likes to feel like he's got his world more together than his partner. So he's attracted to these women who are really damaged and broken, so that, you know, they're down here and he's up here. So the power dynamics are kind of like in this weird state where he's the one who gets to forgive and forget, right? So like on one hand, he's attracted to the drama, but on the other, you know, he doesn't like being less powerful than his partner. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. You know, he's got this weird fetish for being in the right, so to speak, for being more together than the other person. So yeah, just a very weird relationship, you know. But I guess these things happen. I mean, I suppose there are many people in this kind of relationship. So why not talk about it, right? Go for it. But yeah, I mean, that's You Turn Me On, you know. It's just a really lovely indie pop sound. You've got two amazing vocalists. And of course, Calvin Johnson's signature deep monotone vocals. You know, it's unfortunate that this was their last album, but I think they went out with a bang. And I hope that you guys thought it was interesting, you know, sonically or lyrically speaking. But as always, feel free to let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were your interpretations of the album? I'll check them out. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It really helped me out. I've got many hundreds more to make for you guys, so I'm excited. But yeah, that's Beat happening. So check them out and have a good one.